Erin stood at the threshold of her new home, the soft evening light casting a golden hue over the surroundings. The house, a quaint cottage nestled on the edge of a sprawling forest, had a charm that both soothed and excited her. However, it was not the quaint architecture or the chirping of birds that beckoned her. It was the allure of the garden she had heard whispers about from the villagers. They spoke of a hidden paradise, vibrant and lush, filled with flowers that held secrets of their own. With a sense of adventure tingling in her fingertips, Erin decided to explore this garden. She followed a narrow path that wound its way behind the cottage, the scent of blooming jasmine guiding her forward. As she walked, the world around her seemed to fade away, the sounds of the village diminishing until they were nothing more than a faint echo. The air grew thicker with the sweet fragrance of flowers, and her heart raced with anticipation. Suddenly, she stumbled into a clearing and the sight before her took her breath away. The garden was a riot of colors, a tapestry woven from the petals of countless flowers. Violets, roses, and sunflowers danced in the gentle breeze, their vibrant hues contrasting beautifully against the rich green foliage. Erin stepped further into the garden, her senses overwhelmed by the beauty surrounding her. As she wandered deeper, she noticed a figure amidst the blooms. He was tall and striking, with dark hair that fell in waves around his face. His hands moved skillfully among the flowers, tending to each plant with a tenderness that captivated her. Erin felt an invisible pull toward him, as if he were a part of the garden itself, an embodiment of its secrets and beauty. Their eyes met, and in that instant, everything around them faded into a blur. Erin felt her heart skip a beat, an electric charge crackling in the air between them. The stranger's gaze was intense, filled with a depth that hinted at hidden stories and unspoken truths. For a moment, time stood still and the world outside the garden ceased to exist. "Who are you?" Erin finally managed to ask, her voice barely above a whisper. The question hung in the air, charged with curiosity and a hint of fear. He straightened, brushing dirt from his hands, and took a step closer. "I'm Silas," he replied, his voice low and smooth like honey. "I tend to this garden. It's a special place." His eyes sparkled with something unnameable, a mixture of pride and sadness. "It's beautiful," Erin breathed, taking in the kaleidoscope of flowers around them. "I've never seen anything like it." Silas smiled, and for a fleeting moment, the shadows that seemed to linger beneath his surface faded away. "Each flower here has a story," he said, gesturing to a cluster of daisies nearby. "These symbolize innocence and purity. But others," he paused, his expression growing somber, "not all flowers are what they seem." Erin's curiosity deepened. "What do you mean? Are there dangerous flowers here?" A flicker of something darker passed over Silas's face, but he quickly masked it with a smile. "Every garden has its secrets. Some flowers bloom beautifully, but their roots can be toxic." He looked away as if lost in thought. "You should be careful where you tread." Erin felt a shiver run down her spine at his words. "Why do you protect this place?" she asked, searching his face for answers. "What's your connection to it?" Silas's gaze locked onto hers again, a weight in his eyes that made her heart race. "This garden holds more than just beauty. It has a history, one that is not easily shared." He stepped back, creating distance between them, and Erin felt the cool air rush in, filling the space that had been electrified moments before. She sensed that Silas was holding back, that there was a part of him tied to the garden's secrets that he was unwilling to reveal. Yet, despite the shadows that loomed around him, she felt drawn to him, a magnetic pull that defied logic. "I want to know more," she said, her voice steady despite the uncertainty swirling within her. Silas hesitated, his brow furrowing. "Not all knowledge is safe, Erin. Sometimes ignorance is a blessing." "Maybe," she countered, a hint of defiance in her tone. "But I can't just walk away from something this extraordinary without understanding it." His expression softened slightly, as if he recognized her determination. "The garden is a sanctuary, but it can also be a prison. There are forces at play here that you cannot begin to comprehend." Erin's heart raced at the challenge in his words, the thrill of the unknown igniting a fire within her. "Then help me understand," she urged, stepping closer again. "I want to learn." Silas regarded her for a long moment, his eyes searching hers. "Very well," he said finally, a reluctant acceptance in his voice. But tread carefully. The garden will reveal its truths in time, but some truths come at a cost. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the garden, Erin felt a sense of possibility blooming within her. She was ready to unravel the mysteries of this place, to discover the secrets hidden within the petals and leaves. But as she stood next to Silas, she couldn't shake the feeling that his guarded heart might be the most complex puzzle of all. That night, Erin lay in bed, her mind racing with thoughts of the garden and the enigmatic figure who tended to it. Images of vibrant flowers danced behind her eyelids, but they were soon overshadowed by something darker. She found herself walking through the garden again, but this time the colors were muted, the air heavy with tension. A menacing figure lurked among the shadows of the flowers, its presence suffocating. Whispers filled the air, secrets that felt familiar yet frightening, echoing in her mind like a haunting melody. Erin couldn't make out the words, but the tone was clear, warning, pleading, threatening. She awoke with a start, her heart racing as she gasped for breath. The dream felt too real, the fear too palpable. What did it mean? Was it a reflection of her growing connection with Silas, or a sign that danger lurked just beyond the petals? The uncertainty gnawed at her. Erin rolled over in bed, staring at the ceiling as the night pressed on, her thoughts racing. She had ventured into the garden seeking beauty and truth, but now she was faced with shadows and secrets that threatened to engulf her. Silas's warning echoed in her ears, a reminder that the garden was not just a sanctuary, but a place where darkness could take root. As dawn broke, casting a soft light into her room, Erin resolved to return to the garden. She needed to confront the feelings that stirred within her, to understand what the garden, and Silas, truly meant to her. With determination stealing her heart, she prepared for the day ahead, ready to embrace whatever truths awaited her in the enchanting yet perilous garden. Erin took a deep breath as she stepped into the garden once more, the familiar sense of jasmine and lavender wrapping around her like a comforting embrace. The sunlight filtered through the leaves, casting ethereal patterns on the ground, but today her heart was heavy with questions. She felt the weight of her emotions pressing down, urging her to confront the enigmatic alpha who had captivated her from the moment their eyes met. As she wandered along the winding path, she spotted Silas kneeling beside a cluster of wildflowers, his strong hands gently coaxing the earth as he tended to them. He looked up as she approached, a flicker of surprise crossing his handsome features, swiftly replaced by a guarded expression. "Erin," he greeted, his voice warm yet tinged with an undercurrent of caution. "I didn't expect to see you here today." "I needed to come back," she replied, her gaze unwavering. "I want to understand more about this place and you." Silas stood, brushing the dirt from his hands onto his trousers. "The flowers here, they each tell a story. Every bloom has its own secrets, just like the garden itself." He gestured toward a vibrant blue flower swaying gently in the breeze. "Take the bluebell, for example. It symbolizes humility and gratitude. But there are darker tales hidden among them too." Erin nodded, her heart racing. "What about your story, Silas? What secrets do you hold?" He hesitated, his eyes narrowing as he considered her question. The moment stretched between them, thick with unspoken tension. "Some stories are not meant to be shared," he finally said, his voice steady but laced with an edge of sorrow. "Why not?" she pressed, stepping closer, determined to break through the barrier he had built around himself. "I'm not afraid of your past, Silas. I want to know you." He turned away, his jaw clenched tight, and Erin felt a twinge of frustration. There was so much between them, and yet he seemed unwilling to let her in. "You deserve to know the beauty of this garden, not the shadows that lurk in the corners," he said quietly. "Silas," Erin said, her voice softening, "if you're going to keep hiding from me, how can we ever have a chance?" For a moment she thought she saw a flicker of vulnerability in his expression, but it quickly vanished. "Some things are better left untouched," he replied, his tone final. With her heart sinking, Erin turned away, needing space to collect her thoughts. She wandered deeper into the garden, her mind racing. The day was beautiful, yet the air felt charged with unspoken words and unresolved feelings. As she strolled, she noticed a peculiar glow emanating from a patch of flowers nearby. Drawn to it, she knelt and brushed her fingers over the petals of an unusual flower that shimmered with an otherworldly light. The delicate bloom was unlike anything she had ever seen, It was both enchanting and foreboding. "Aaron, wait." Silas's voice cut through her thoughts, urgent and panicked as he rushed toward her. "Don't touch that." Startled, she pulled her hand back, confusion flooding her mind. "What's wrong with it?" "It's beautiful." Silas's expression was a mix of fear and urgency. He knelt beside her, his brows furrowed. "Some flowers are not meant to be picked. They hold powers beyond our understanding." Aaron's heart raced as she searched his gaze for answers. "What do you mean? Why is this one different?" He hesitated, his eyes darting to the flower and then back to her. "That bloom, it can symbolize hope, but it also holds danger. It's tied to the very essence of the garden. If misused, it could unleash chaos." Aaron felt a chill run down her spine. "What kind of chaos?" Silas sighed, his shoulders sagging as he ran a hand through his hair. "There are forces linked to this garden that are beyond our control. I can't explain it all now, but trust me when I say that some things are best left undisturbed." "Why do you keep saying that?" Erin's frustration bubbled over, her voice rising slightly. "You can't keep pushing me away and expect me to just understand." "Erin, Silas began, but she cut him off. "No. I refuse to stand here while you keep me in the dark. If we're going to have any chance at all, you need to let me in." The air between them crackled with intensity, and for a moment they stood in silence, both caught up in the weight of their emotions. Silas looked torn, as if he were battling an inner storm. "Aaron," he finally murmured, his voice low and steady, "you don't truly understand what you're asking." "I want to understand you, Silas. I want to understand this garden and the secrets it holds," she insisted, her heart racing as she took a step closer to him. "But you have to meet me halfway." He stared at her, his expression conflicted. "You may not like what you find. There are things in my past that could change everything between us." "Let me decide that for myself," Erin replied, her voice firm. As Silas opened his mouth to respond, a rustling in the nearby bushes caught both their attentions. Erin turned her head, peering into the shadows, her heart pounding. "What was that?" "Stay close," Silas instructed, his demeanor shifting to one of caution as he stepped in front of her protectively. Erin's heart raced as she watched him, captivated by his intensity. "Silas, what's out there?" "Nothing we need to concern ourselves with right now," he said, his voice low but steady. His eyes remained fixed on the shadows, and Erin couldn't shake the feeling that there was more lurking beneath the surface, both in the garden and in Silas himself. After a tense moment, the rustling ceased and Silas finally turned back to her, a flicker of worry in his eyes. "I need you to trust me. Some things are better left unsaid for now." Erin felt a mixture of frustration and intrigue. "How can I trust you if you won't share your truth with me?" Silas opened his mouth, but before he could answer, a shadow flitted past them, darting through the trees. Erin's breath caught in her throat as she instinctively stepped closer to him. "Silas, what's happening?" He narrowed his eyes, scanning the area with an intensity that sent shivers down her spine. "We should go back." "No. Not until you tell me what's going on." "Erin, please," Silas said, his voice strained. "This isn't safe." Frustration bubbled within her, but as she met Silas's gaze, she saw something deeper. A protective instinct, a fear of what lay beyond the garden's beauty. Erin felt her resolve begin to waver. "All right," she relented softly, her heart pounding as she realized the truth. There was more at stake here than just her burgeoning feelings for Silas. The garden itself held secrets that could change everything, and she was determined to uncover them, even if it meant facing the dark shadows that lurked at its edges. With one last look at the glowing flower, she turned to Silas, her determination renewed. "Then let's go back. But promise me you'll tell me everything soon." He nodded, his expression softening slightly as they began to walk side by side through the garden, the weight of unspoken words hanging heavily in the air. Erin didn't know what awaited her, but she was ready to face it, together with Silas. Erin stood at the threshold of the garden, the vibrant blooms surrounding her like colorful sentinels, yet today they felt more like a cage. Her heart raced as she recalled the whispered conversation she had overheard between Silas and the cloaked figure. The words hung in the air like an ominous cloud, shrouding her thoughts in doubt. She had to confront him. There was no turning back now. As she walked deeper into the garden, the flowers swayed gently in the breeze, but the beauty of it all felt tainted. The rare flower she had picked with its unusual glow danced in her mind, a symbol of both hope and danger. Erin's fingers brushed over the petals of nearby blooms, her heart heavy with the weight of the secrets she had stumbled upon. "Silas," she called out, her voice trembling slightly as she approached the clearing where she had first met him. He was there, kneeling in the dirt, tending to a patch of delicate bluebells. The sun filtered through the leaves, casting a golden hue on his dark hair, making him look almost ethereal. But Erin felt no warmth today, only a chill that settled in her bones. He looked up, surprise flashing across his features. "Erin," he said, rising to his feet. "I wasn't expecting you." "I overheard you," she said, her voice stronger than she felt. "With that figure, the one in the shadows. You're not just an alpha, are you? What are you hiding from me?" Silas's expression shifted, the warmth in his eyes giving way to a guarded look. "You shouldn't have heard that," he replied, his tone low and serious. "It's not safe to discuss such matters." "Not safe?" Erin's frustration bubbled to the surface. "What about my safety? You're keeping secrets that involve me. I have a right to know what's going on." Silas took a step closer, his presence both comforting and intimidating. "What I protect here is far greater than you can imagine. I am not only an alpha, I am the guardian of this garden. I have sworn to protect its secrets from those who would misuse them." Erin's brow furrowed, the words striking her like a physical blow. "Guardian? Secrets? What does that even mean?" He sighed, running a hand through his hair as he struggled to find the right words. "The flower you picked, the one that glows, it is more than just a beautiful bloom. It holds the power to unleash chaos if misused. I didn't want you to get hurt." "Hurt?" Erin echoed, her voice rising in disbelief. "You mean to say that I could have unleashed chaos just by picking a flower? Why didn't you tell me before?" Silas hesitated, his jaw tightening. "I thought I could keep you safe from it. I didn't want to scare you away." Erin's heart sank. "So you thought ignoring the truth would protect me? Silas, I deserve honesty. If we're going to have any kind of relationship, you cannot keep me in the dark." He looked at her, the walls he had built around himself beginning to crack. "I know you deserve more than half-truths. But there are forces at play here that I cannot control. This garden is bound by a curse, one that ties directly to my lineage. If the wrong person gets a hold of that flower..." "What are you saying?" Erin interrupted, her voice barely above a whisper. "What curse?" Silas stepped back, his hands balling into fists at his sides. "Long ago my ancestors made a pact to protect this garden, but in doing so they cursed themselves. The guardian can never leave, can never truly love without consequences. Love here, it often leads to destruction." A heavy silence filled the air, the weight of his words hanging like a storm cloud. Erin felt her heart constrict. "So what are you saying? That we can't be together because of this curse?" "It's not that simple," Silas replied, his voice strained. "If we allow our feelings to grow unchecked, we risk everything. This garden is both a sanctuary and a prison. And I fear that if you remain here, you will be drawn into its chaos." Erin shook her head, feeling tears prick the corners of her eyes. "So what? I'm supposed to just walk away? To forget about you in this place?" "No, that's not what I want," Silas said, stepping closer again, his voice softening. "But I need you to understand the risk. You mean more to me than you know, but I can't let my feelings jeopardize your safety." Her heart ached at his words, the sincerity behind them slicing through the tension like a knife. "You're asking me to choose between my feelings and my safety. But what about your feelings? What if I want to stay? What if I want to help you?" Silas's eyes flickered with a mixture of hope and despair. "You don't understand. The curse is not something I'm willing to accept as an excuse." Erin interrupted, her voice rising again. "I want to know the truth, Silas. I want to understand what it means to love in this garden, even if it's dangerous. I can't just turn my back on you." Silas closed his eyes for a moment as if gathering his resolve. "You have no idea what you're asking. This garden has its own will, and it will not hesitate to protect itself, even at the cost of those who enter it." Erin took a deep breath, her determination solidifying. "Then let me help you protect it. Together we can face whatever darkness lurks here. I won't back down." He opened his eyes, and for the first time she saw a flicker of admiration mixed with fear. "You're brave, Erin. But bravery doesn't always lead to victory. Sometimes it leads to pain. Pain I can handle, she insisted, stepping closer to him, her heart racing. What I can't handle is uncertainty. I need you to trust me. Will you? Silas's gaze softened, and the tension between them crackled like electricity. I want to trust you. But trust is built on truth, and there are still things I haven't told you. Then tell me, Erin urged, her voice steady. All of it. I deserve to know. He hesitated, the shadows of his past flickering in his eyes. There are dangers here that don't just affect me. They could destroy everything you hold dear. This garden is alive, and it reacts to the emotions of those who enter. If I let my feelings for you flourish, there's a chance it could awaken something terrible. Erin felt a chill sweep through her. Something terrible? Yes, he said, his voice barely above a whisper. A darkness that has been lying dormant for centuries. And if it awakens, it will want to claim you. Her breath caught in her throat as the weight of his revelation settled over her. Then we have to stop it. We can't let that happen. Silas stepped back, his expression torn. But how? I don't know how to control it. I've spent my life keeping it at bay. Erin's heart raced as she realized the gravity of their situation. Then we'll figure it out together. I won't let you face this alone. The sun began to dip lower in the sky, casting long shadows across the garden as they stood in silence, the air thick with unspoken words. Erin's resolve hardened. She would not walk away. Not now, not ever. Whatever darkness lay ahead, she was ready to face it, if only he would let her. Erin stood at the edge of the garden, feeling the weight of the secrets it harbored pressing down on her shoulders. The air was thick with the scent of blooming flowers, yet a storm brewed in the distance, casting a shadow over her heart. Silas was nearby, his strong form silhouetted against the vibrant colors of the garden. They had been working together to confront the darkness that threatened this place, but Erin could sense that Silas was still holding back, a barrier between them that she desperately wanted to breach. Silas, she called out, her voice trembling slightly with uncertainty. We need to talk about what's really going on here. I can feel it. The darkness is growing stronger. Silas turned to her, his expression serious, yet his deep-set eyes held a flicker of something softer, something vulnerable. I know you feel it, Erin. But there are things I can't share, not yet. It's complicated. Complicated. Erin echoed, frustration bubbling within her. You're asking me to trust you while you're keeping me in the dark. How can I fight beside you if I don't know what I'm fighting against? He sighed, running a hand through his tousled hair. I wish I could explain everything, but there are forces at play that you don't understand. Forces that could endanger you. Endanger me? Or endanger you? Erin pressed, stepping closer, her heart racing. You're the one who keeps pushing me away. You think I can't handle the truth. This isn't about you, Erin. Silas snapped, his voice sharp enough to cut through the air. He immediately softened, his shoulders slumping. I don't want you to get hurt. I've seen what happens when someone gets too close to the truth. To me. The storm clouds gathered overhead, rumbling ominously as if echoing the turmoil within them. Erin's heart ached at the despair in his voice. Silas, I'm already here. I want to be here with you. But you have to let me in. His gaze faltered, staring out into the garden, where the flowers trembled in the growing wind. You don't know what you're asking for. The garden is alive with its own magic and its own curses. I'm bound to it, and so are you now that you've stepped into this world. Then let's face it together, she urged, desperation lacing her words. We can find a way to break whatever binds you. As if sensing the weight of their conversation, a gust of wind swept through the garden, rustling the leaves and sending a flurry of petals dancing around them. Erin felt a chill run down her spine, as if the garden itself were warning them. Erin, wait, Silas said suddenly, his voice low and urgent. There's something I need to show you. Before she could respond, he took her hand, leading her deeper into the garden. They navigated through the winding paths until they arrived at an ancient tree, its gnarled roots twisting and turning like the secrets that lay beneath. Erin's breath caught in her throat as she noticed a small opening at the base of the tree, half hidden by fallen leaves. Here, Silas said, kneeling down and carefully clearing the debris. This is where I found the book. What book? Erin asked, kneeling beside him, curiosity piqued. He reached inside the hollow and pulled out an old leather-bound volume, its cover embossed with intricate patterns that seemed to shimmer in the fading light. "The Legends of the Garden," he explained, flipping through the pages until he found a passage marked with a delicate flower pressed between the leaves. "It speaks of the curse placed upon the Alpha lineage, a burden that has been passed down for generations." Erin leaned closer, the words dancing before her eyes. "What does it say?" Silas read aloud, his voice steady. "The first Alpha, bound to the garden, must protect its secrets from those who would exploit them. But with each generation the ties grow stronger, and the darkness that lurks within the garden seeks to claim the Alpha as its own. Only true love can break the chains of the past." Her heart raced as the implications sank in. "You're saying that you're trapped by this curse? That you're bound to protect the garden, and if I fail, I become part of the darkness," Silas finished, his voice a mere whisper. "I lose myself to it and the garden suffers." Erin's mind raced. "But what does that mean for us? For our connection? I can feel it, Silas. There's something between us that is powerful." "Powerful enough to destroy you," he replied, a pained expression crossing his face. "I don't want to drag you into this. You deserve a life free from the shadows that haunt me." Tears pricked at Erin's eyes as she grappled with the weight of his words. "But I want to be with you. I don't care about the danger. I care about you." Silas's gaze softened, and in that moment she saw the flicker of hope in his eyes. "You don't understand the risks. The garden has a way of consuming everything it touches. I'm afraid that if you stay, you'll become part of that darkness." The wind howled around them and the storm threatened to break overhead, but Erin felt a spark of determination igniting within her. "Then let's fight it together, Silas. Let's break this curse and reclaim the garden." Silas looked at her, his expression torn. "Erin, it's not that simple. The garden has its own will, and it tests those who seek to uncover its secrets. You may not be strong enough to withstand it." "Don't underestimate me," she replied fiercely. "I've faced my own darkness and I'm not afraid to face yours." Before he could respond, a flash of lightning illuminated the garden, momentarily revealing a swirling darkness creeping along the edges of the flora. Erin's heart raced as she felt a tangible presence, something sinister lurking just beyond their reach. "Silas, it's here," she cried, adrenaline surging through her veins. He sprang to his feet, pulling her with him. "We need to protect the garden. Stay close to me." Together they moved deeper into the heart of the garden, where the air was thick with tension. Erin could feel the energy pulsing around them, a chaotic force that sought to tear them apart. She glanced at Silas, who was focused and determined, yet the flicker of fear was evident in his eyes. "Whatever happens," he said, his voice steady, "don't let go of my hand. We'll face this together." Erin nodded, her heart pounding in her chest as they prepared to confront the darkness that threatened not just the garden but their very connection. The storm raged above them, but within the chaos she felt a growing sense of purpose. She was ready to fight for Silas, for their love, and for the secrets that bound them to this enchanted place. As the shadows inched closer, Erin took a deep breath, ready to face whatever lay ahead. Together they would unravel the mysteries of the garden, and in doing so she hoped to free Silas from the chains of his past. Erin stood at the edge of the garden, her heart a tumult of emotions. The vibrant colors of the flowers seemed to mock her turmoil, each petal a reminder of the beauty and danger that intertwined within this magical place. Silas had shared his burdens with her, and while her heart ached for him, doubt clung to her like morning fog. Could she truly remain by his side, knowing the darkness that surrounded him? As she contemplated leaving, a whisper of wind rustled the leaves, carrying the scent of jasmine and something deeper, something darker that sent shivers down her spine. She took a deep breath, attempting to steady herself, but the thought of walking away from Silas felt like a betrayal to both him and her own heart. "I can't leave him," she murmured, her voice barely above a whisper. "Not now, not when he needs me." With resolve blooming in her chest, Erin turned back towards the heart of the garden, where Silas had last been seen, tending to the flowers with a fierce tenderness that made her heart swell. She stepped carefully along the winding path, her thoughts racing. What if she could help him break this curse? What if their love could transcend the shadows that loomed over them? As she reached the clearing, she found Silas kneeling by a patch of wildflowers, his strong hands delicately brushing against the petals as if they were made of glass. He looked up, his expression shifting from concentration to surprise as he caught sight of her. "Aaron," he breathed, the tension in his shoulders easing slightly. "I thought you might have left." "I couldn't," she replied, stepping closer, her voice firm. "I want to help you find a way to break this curse." A flicker of hope ignited in Silas's eyes, but it was quickly overshadowed by the shadows that had begun to gather at the edges of the clearing. "You don't know what you're asking," he warned, his voice low and urgent. "The path we must take is fraught with danger. There are forces in this garden that will not hesitate to protect their secrets." Erin squared her shoulders, determination coursing through her veins. "I'm not afraid of the darkness, Silas. I'm more afraid of losing you." Silas's gaze softened, and for a moment, the weight of his burden seemed to lift, revealing the man she had come to love amidst the turmoil. "Then we must venture deeper," he said, extending his hand towards her. Together, hand in hand, they traversed through the garden, the vibrant blooms gradually giving way to more twisted, gnarled plants that seemed to reach out like skeletal fingers. Strange noises echoed around them, a mix of whispers and rustling leaves, and Erin felt a chill creep up her spine. "Stay close to me," Silas instructed, his voice steady despite the tension in the air. "Trust in our bond." As they navigated the treacherous paths, they encountered creatures that defied imagination. A pair of glowing eyes peered from behind a bush, and a low growl rumbled through the air. Erin's heart raced, but Silas stood tall, his presence radiating power and calm. "We mean no harm," he called out, and to her surprise the creature retreated, leaving them unharmed. "Did you see that?" Erin gasped, her breath hitching in her throat. "You commanded it." Silas shrugged, though a hint of pride crept into his voice. "The garden listens to me, but it is not always friendly. We must keep moving." With each challenge they faced, Erin felt the bond between them strengthening. They shared stolen glances and quiet laughter, each moment a reminder of the love that was blossoming amidst the chaos. Yet the shadows seemed to grow denser, wrapping around them like a shroud, whispering threats that sent a shiver down her spine. As they approached a clearing illuminated by the moonlight, Erin spotted a familiar flower, the one she had plucked before. It stood at the center of a circle of ancient stones, its glow pulsating like a heartbeat. "Silas, look," she said, pointing. "It's the flower." He stepped forward, caution etched across his face. "That flower is more than it seems. It holds secrets that could change everything." Erin's heart raced as she recalled the dire warnings Silas had shared with her. "What if it holds the key to your curse?" she questioned, hope mingling with fear in her voice. "What if it can save you?" Silas hesitated, his brow furrowing. "It could also unleash chaos, Erin. The power contained within it is not to be trifled with." "Then we'll figure it out together," Erin insisted, stepping closer to the glowing flower. "I can't lose you to a curse. Not when we have a chance to fight back." "Erin, please," Silas said, his voice laced with urgency. "You don't understand the risks." "Neither do you," she countered, her frustration boiling over. "You're not the only one who's afraid. But I refuse to let fear dictate our fate." Silas's gaze softened and he stepped closer, his hand brushing against hers. "You're right. We need to find out what the flower truly represents. But we must proceed with caution." As they knelt before the flower, Erin felt a pull, an almost magnetic force drawing her in. She reached out, her fingers grazing the soft petals. "What if it's not just a curse?" she whispered, wonder lacing her voice. "What if it's a bond? A symbol of our love?" Silas's eyes widened, and for a moment, the air between them crackled with potential. "If it is, then we must tread carefully. Our love is powerful, Erin, but it could also be our undoing." Erin met his gaze, determination igniting within her. "Then let's use that power wisely." Together, they clasped hands, the warmth of their connection igniting a flame of hope within them. As they focused on the flower, a surge of energy pulsed through Erin, filling her with a sense of purpose. She could feel Silas's presence beside her, grounding her as they delved deeper into the mystery of the garden. But as they prepared to uncover the truth, a dark presence loomed on the periphery, a reminder that not all secrets are meant to be unearthed. The shadows whispered, curling around them, and Erin's heart raced as she realized that their journey was far from over. They were standing at the precipice of a revelation that could change everything, a truth that could either bind them together or tear them apart. With resolve, Erin tightened her grip on Silas's hand, ready to face whatever awaited them in the heart of the garden. Together they would confront the darkness, seeking the light that could save them both. Their love, nurtured amidst chaos, would be their greatest weapon against the shadows that threatened to consume them. Erin stood in the heart of the garden, the rare flower glowing ominously in her hands. Its vibrant radiance felt like a pulse, resonating with the very essence of the earth beneath her feet. She could sense the weight of destiny hanging in the air, thick and tangible, pressing against her chest. The decision before her was monumental: to destroy the flower and potentially save Silas, or to embrace its power, which could unshackle him from the burdens of his past. As she knelt, determination mingled with dread. "This has to be done," she whispered, her heart pounding as she prepared to crush the delicate bloom. But just as her fingers closed around the stem, a strong hand grasped her wrist, stopping her in her tracks. "Erin, no." Silas's voice was urgent, laced with a mix of fear and desperation. His eyes, usually so serene, now burned with intensity. "You cannot destroy it. That flower is not merely a curse, it's a part of us. It's our love, the very essence of what we've nurtured together." Erin blinked, confusion flooding her senses. "What do you mean? It's dangerous. It could unleash chaos." Silas stepped closer, his presence grounding her. "Yes, but it's also our power. If we channel our love through it, we can break the chains that bind me. We can heal the garden and dispel the darkness that haunts it." Her breath caught in her throat. The weight of his words settled over her like a warm blanket, igniting a flicker of hope. "You really believe that?" "I do," he replied earnestly, his gaze unwavering. "But I can't do it alone. I need you, Erin. Together we can transform this curse into a blessing." Erin's heart raced as she weighed his words. The garden, with its vibrant blooms and hidden chaos, had become a part of her. She had fought against her fears, battled through the darkness, and in Silas she had found a kindred spirit. "Okay," she said finally, her voice steady. "Let's do this." Hand in hand, they stood in the center of the garden, the flower between them radiating with an otherworldly glow. Erin felt an electric charge in the air as they focused their thoughts and feelings, channeling every ounce of love and hope they had for one another into the bloom. The garden seemed to hold its breath, as if time itself paused to witness their union. "Close your eyes," Silas instructed softly. "Feel the connection we share. Let it flow through you." Erin obeyed, letting the warmth of his hand anchor her as she delved into the depths of her emotions. Memories flooded her mind: laughter shared, quiet moments beneath the stars, the thrill of discovery, and the fear that had once threatened to sever their bond. Each memory surged with energy, weaving into a tapestry of love that intertwined with the very essence of the flower they held. As they concentrated, the glow of the flower intensified, enveloping them in a radiant light. Erin could feel it pulsing with the rhythm of her heart, harmonizing with Silas's own. They whispered words of affection, promises of loyalty, and hopes for the future, their voices blending into a melodic chant that resonated with the garden's spirit. Suddenly, a dark shadow crept through the edges of the clearing, a sinister force that had long haunted their steps. Erin's heart raced as she sensed its approach, a chilling reminder of the danger that lurked in the depths of the garden. But instead of fear, a wave of defiance surged through her. "We won't let you take him," she shouted, her voice echoing through the silence, fueled by the strength of their love. In response, the flower pulsed with vibrant energy, its light expanding outward like a shield. The darkness recoiled, hissing as it met the radiant barrier they had created. Erin could feel the power coursing through her, an unstoppable force fueled by her love for Silas and the garden they both cherished. "Now," Silas urged, his voice a steady anchor amidst the chaos. "Focus your energy. Let it flow into the flower." Erin poured every ounce of her being into the bloom, feeling the light grow brighter and brighter until it was nearly blinding. The garden around them began to shift, colors vibrant and alive, flowers stretching toward the light as if awakening from a deep slumber. With one final surge, the flower erupted in a dazzling explosion of light, illuminating the entire garden. The dark presence shrieked, a sound filled with rage and despair, as it was consumed by the brilliance. Aaron and Silas stood resolute, their hands still clasped, their hearts beating in unison as the darkness dissipated, leaving only the beauty of the garden behind. As the light began to fade, Aaron opened her eyes, breathless and awed. The garden had transformed. Flowers bloomed in vibrant colors, their fragrances intoxicating and sweet. The oppressive weight that had hung over them was gone, replaced by a sense of peace and renewal. "Did we do it?" Aaron whispered, her voice trembling with disbelief. Silas turned to her, his expression a mixture of relief and joy. "Yes, we did. The curse is lifted. I'm free." Aaron's heart soared at his words. She rushed into his arms, feeling his warmth envelop her like a protective cocoon. "You're free," she repeated, her voice muffled against his shoulder. "We did it together." They stood amidst the blooming flowers, their hearts intertwined as the garden flourished around them. The vibrant colors danced in the gentle breeze, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of blossoms. Aaron pulled back slightly, looking into Silas's eyes, which sparkled with newfound freedom. "What does this mean for us?" she asked tentatively, the weight of their shared experience still heavy in the air. "It means we can start anew," Silas replied, a smile breaking across his face. "No more secrets, no more burdens. Just us." Aaron felt a thrill course through her. As she gazed around the garden, she saw not just the beauty that surrounded her but also the promise of a future unclouded by fear. "I want to explore everything with you," she said, her voice filled with conviction. "Together." Silas nodded, his expression softening. "Then let's do that. This garden is just the beginning. There's a whole world out there waiting for us." As they stepped forward together, hand in hand, the garden bloomed in celebration of their love, each petal a testament to their journey, each fragrance a reminder of their strength. The past had tried to bind them, but together they had forged a path toward a future filled with hope, love, and endless possibilities. The sun dipped low in the sky, casting a warm golden hue over the garden, as Aaron and Silas embraced their new beginning, ready to face whatever came next, united in their love and the magic they had created together.